Good evening and welcome once again to Sista Talk. We are glad that you are joining us again tonight and that your year is going on well. Today on Sista Talk, we are going to discuss young wives, expectations versus reality. Let's face it, ladies, many times when you are single and you're waiting to get married, you normally build castles in the air, some of brick, some of toilet paper. Then you get married and reality hits you. How do you deal with that? On the panel today, we have three beautiful ladies. Each one of them is married at different ages. So I'm going to introduce. First, we have Betty Gishana. Betty Gishana has been married for 4 years. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Then we have Lillian Odhiambo. Lillian Odhiambo is married 2 years now.
Yes.
Yeah. Then Victoria Babazi Karenge.
Yes.
Married for 1 year.
1 year.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Wow. So I believe today you're going to not only laugh, but get encouraged and, you know, demolish some of those castles that you are building right now. So Betty, when you got married, what were these expectations that you had? And, you know, reality has completely destroyed them.
Let me tell you the truth. Reality, expectations and reality mostly does not meet the expectations. For me, when I got married, I was carrying a whole pot of expectations. In there were, you know, finances, career, all those things, children, everything all round. You can imagine what a woman imagines of a home, what you expect him to do as a husband. So I came with it and here I am.
You place it on the table.
Make sure you meet all these expectations.
Yeah.
And now you know you are just unatoa kidogo kidogo tu. And you're imagining na yeye kumbe akona expectations zake. So I'm here. Sometimes inafika mpaka because he's not meeting those expectations or what you're over expecting. Sometimes unajua kama we ladies, kama mambo ya finances, unadhani ni kama you've married an ATM, unabonyeza tu hivi pesa inatoka. I want money for salon. Shika. Unataka viatu, shika. Only when the reality hits you, this man sometimes hata hana hiyo pesa. That is the reality. Nina imagine tukitembea hapa kwa barabara. I remember there's a time wakati nilikuwa expectant of our first child. Nilikuwa na walk up along Moya Avenue. So nakuja hapa church na mchukua tuende kwa nyumba. So I'm expecting tukitoka hapa church tuende hivi kazini, yani tuende nyumbani, tutakuwa tunaongea kwa gari, nimwambie vile siku imeshindaje, you know, the hizo makuvomit nini, you know, that's the story I want to give. But tukifika tu hivi tukipanda hivi, yeye ako tu kwa simu, maybe ndo, you know, he's a blogger, he's doing all those things to make ends meet. Sasa kwa barabara najaribu ku respond to somebody who was asking for something or, you know, sasa ako busy, amevuka, tumefika huko juu, amevuka, ameniacha, nimefrown, so
let's hold that. We will deal with how you dance with those makasiriko. Lillian.
Now, when I got married, or rather when I was almost getting married, my expectation, one of the biggest, was because we are in love, the goosebumps, you know, we will continue having goosebumps. Every time I see him, goosebumps, and everything will be effortless because we're in love. We will just flow. When we got married, I think I had a reality check. This is a human being. He gets angry. He gets angry. You can offend him and things like that. Like, I didn't expect like we would have hurdles like that because we are in love. I thought every time
Love
it would
covers
be
everything.
covers a multitude of wrong. So I expected every time it will be goosebumps. Yes, because we're in love. But hey, it was a reality check for me.
Reality
It
check.
changed. Yes.
Victoria.
For me, I think 3 major things, but top of the list, roles. Going into marriage, I was like, this is my friend. We have been friends for so long. I feel like we can do everything
Yes.
together. We get into marriage. I think, you know, because he has been alone all this while, he knows how to cook, how to clean. He would wash his own clothes. Yeah. So I'm thinking, of course I'll be doing it, but it's not like he cannot do them. So I didn't expect that I would be doing most of everything. Yeah. I think there was a time I felt like, I know when I was single, there's a way we used to plan myself. My clothes, I knew I can wash them maybe once in 2 weeks. I have enough clothes for that. But then for my husband, he would wash his clothes every week. So I get into marriage and I'm still planning myself the way I used to plan myself. So my husband tells me on a Monday morning, by the way, I don't have a trouser for tomorrow. And then the first thing in my heart is, I think he's a grown-up.
Let's just hold that thought there. If you're just tuned in today on Sista Talk, we're having these ladies and they're discussing, you know, the expectations they had when they were single and then they got into marriage. And these expectations were met by reality. Reality, ladies. And how do you deal with those? Do you go back to your father and say, hey, I was playing nearly chessboard? I should just be alone. So let's talk on chores, Victoria, as you were saying.
Yeah.
You expected that you would be able to have a duty rota. This one can do this one can do this. Or if I'm cooking in the kitchen, you know, he comes and cuts the onions.
Yeah, perfect.
Dishes.
I sincerely expected something like that. I saw it, like you'd want to spend that time with me, you know? Oh, you're washing, and let me help you. Let me rinse. My goodness. So when he told me that, when he told me that he's out of trousers, I'm like, in my heart, I'm thinking, he knew that he's not going to have a trouser for tomorrow. I wasn't checking his suitcase to check what else do you have. So in my mind, I'm thinking, what am I here for? Am I here to serve only in? We had to have that conversation, and we talked about it. And it's not like we didn't talk about this before we got married, but reality comes in when you're married, because before marriage, you're like, we will do these things together. I know I can do it all, but then I know you will also help me. And then I remember he would tell me, you know, at home, my mom is the one who washes for my dad his clothes and things like that. And you know, those things do not really hit. Yeah. You only remember when you're married. So there's a way he would see things done. And there's a way he expected things to be done. So we had to talk about it. And in my background, my dad would wash his clothes, and they were okay with that arrangement. When my mom was washing, she would wash both their clothes, but dad would also wash. So I think coming from different backgrounds also contributed into that. But I think laying down your will is the hardest part of marriage. But I think it's worth it.
But right now you have someone.
Yeah. In fact, I enjoy it. Sincerely, I do.
Lillian, how did you deal with the expectations of roles?
Of the roles. First of all, there is this aspect of cooking. I remember in my bridal shower, you guys were there. You told me, make sure you cook for your husband. I was like, yeah, I will cook.
That's obvious.
Yes. Getting to marriage and you realize you have to plan every day. You have to plan for the meals. You have to cook them yourself. It was not easy, to be very honest. The first few days, it was not easy. So with time, of course, you get, I wouldn't say I've really gotten I am 100% there, because it is every day thinking about it and making the dinner. It is quite.
How about when you ask him, what would you like to eat today?
Anything.
That never works.
Or he's like, anything will do. I'll ask you what is in the kitchen. I'm coming to ask you because that is what I want to do. I want to put something in the kitchen, and then he's like, anything will do. And of course, if you make something that is not appealing, definitely he will not take it lightly again. So those are now the moments you thought, oh, it's love. You'll just be like, oh, it's okay.
Okay, I will eat it.
It is not
Even
okay.
with too much, even with too much salt.
Yeah,
it's
it is
okay.
not okay. It is not
That's
okay.
okay.
All right, Betty, your experience.
Okay, we are still there. These things you discover as you grow. Mnaendelea tu kuwa na those issues because you deal with this one and another one comes. But I don't know. Is it wrong to have expectations? Now, when I was telling you about the ameshavuka barabara, he's on the other side of the barabara, ndo huyo beba amepanda gari. Sasa amepanda ndo ana realize, siko nyuma yake. So he comes back anakuja kunichukua. So he's already frowning. Ameshakasirika na mimi mwenyewe nimefrown.
Yeah.
So tumeingia kwa gari, amuongeleshani, mnaenda kwa nyumba. Naenda unasema juu amenikasirisha, I should go to the kitchen and cook. And naye anaendelea tu na vitu zake. He's expecting you to go back and cook. Yes. So unakasirika and then you remember at the end of the day I'm the one who's going to cook. Then you go to the kitchen, prepare that meal. Kama umekasirika, unaleta hiyo food, mnakula kama mumekasirika.
Pia chakula imekasirika.
So hiyo hata ukipika, hata unaipika, yani hata ukipika whatever you cook, it's not going to be as sweet as usual, you know.
Yeah.
So you eat kama umekasirika, you go down to sleep. If you're wise now, that is now where wisdom is needed. You can sit down and talk about this thing.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking, what can we do? Because the two of us are with the expectations, both tukiingia kwa marriage. You are not the only one who has expectations. Hata mimi niko na expectations. Should we just come and I lay aside my expectations, the things that I used to see my mom do to my dad and dad do to my dad used to treat my mom? Na wewe wacha vile ulikuwa unaona mamako na treat dad yako, so we start our own constitution and start our own expectations and build our own marriage.
Wow. So if you're joining us and you're watching, however you're watching, please feel free to share the show with your friends on Facebook and on YouTube. Invite them to join us right now because this conversation is going to demolish some of the castles that ladies are building and come into reality. Because reality is that we are in an African setting and we were raised by African parents, but we've been watching Alejandro and Maria.
I tell you.
Yes. And of course, it's not a reality. Yeah. So let's talk about, one of the languages of love is quality time. Yeah. But of course, ladies, let's face it, we mean quantity time.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that? Because sometimes you want to spend the whole day with him, but he's busy.
Should I go?
Yeah.
Actually, even while we're talking about quality time, I'm reminded of a time when I also needed my own quality time. In the sense that I felt like we are in the same house every day. And I am doing everything. And I need to breathe. Before we got married, I felt like I want to spend every moment with you.
My life.
Every waking moment, I just want to see you, how are you doing? But I just needed just a little me time. Yeah. So I remember on this specific day, I remember there is a meeting in church. It's a Tuesday in the evening, I'll go to church. So I'll let him know that when he comes home, he won't find me. So that at least I have some personal time on my own. So I send him a message, I get ready, I'm excited. I'll be on my own, So I get out of the house, I lock the house, I'm like, at least I also, when he comes home, I know he will cook, so I'm not worried about that. So I get to town and then I'm walking headed to church, and who do I see before me? My husband, walking, strolling, very excited, heading to church as well. So I stop. I'm like, should I go back home should I go take tea somewhere? I just wanted me time. And then I can't turn around, so I just walked to him. And he's so excited to see me. He's like, you know, when you texted me, I had the same idea. We could go to church. And I was like, yeah, okay. Yes, it's good. It's good. So it's true, I enjoy time with him, but I have also realized I need to create time for me so that I'm able to continue contributing into our marriage in a healthy way. Yeah, that's something
Not
I
to
really
be,
realized.
at the end of the day, clingy and so dependent on him for even for you to smile and
For me
to
to
laugh.
be happy. Exactly. Yeah.
So, Lillian, sometimes before we got married, most ladies would think we'll be sitting on the couch together, we'd be watching movies, you know, he'll be there all the time. What was your reality?
Actually, after watching a lot of soap operas, and you think when you come home, here he will be there, you cook together, or he makes you juice, stories, a lot of stories, tells you joke, you laugh, you watch movies. I think
Or when he comes, he's carrying flowers.
yes, or chocolates, brings you gifts, takes you out on dates. The reality it hit me is that when you get home, and sometimes he's just on his phone, and when you get home, you have to go make dinner. Number one. So by the time you come back, sometimes he's tired, or maybe you're also tired. And even before you even watch something for 15 minutes, and he's already asleep. Or sometimes you're talking to him, you have something great about the day you want to tell him, and he's just like, you know, you're talking to somebody and like, he's on his phone, and you're like, my God, who did I marry? So I think I expected so much in regard to quality time, even the aspect of dating. I thought like we'd continue maybe going out, and to be honest, that is expensive. Instead of going out, like there's a day he actually calculated for me, instead of us going out, let us just make our coffee here and drink it. So I think I learned that a very hard way, which it makes a lot of sense budget-wise. Yes.
So Betty, then are we saying that really marriage is not fun? For someone who is watching and they're saying, hey, these ladies are demolishing all my expectations. What would you say to that person who thinks, I'm going, hey, quality time ni kama imekunywa maji, you know?
No, marriage is very exciting.
Yeah.
It is very exciting. I can say it's exciting. And then these expectations, let's not be on the negative side only. Sometimes anaweza fanya kitu mpaka waseme I married the guy on the movie.
You forget everything.
For example, if you've been doing chores all the day, as in the whole day you've been very busy, and then he comes home, apart umechoka, and you're sleeping on the couch, and then he's like, can I give you a massage?
I tell you.
You'll be like, really?
Even if you're angry,
you feel like it's a taboo. Ni kama jamani mkisi kweli hapa. He's breaking some rules somewhere. That is now the beauty of marriage, despite all these things. And then the quarrels, you know, kuna wakati hata mna have quarrel over these things, and you're like, now this is not what I expected. I expected you to be more orderly, maybe on other things I expected you to do. And then you sit down and talk, and now unajua hata mimi nilikuwa na expect, and then you talk about it, you muna find a way, muna this is how we are going to do things concerning this is how we are going to do this. And then those surprising moments, sometimes anakuja unashtuka, hey, mtu amekuja na flower, unasema hata sikuwa naitarajia, si birthday, si anniversary, sijafanya anything extraordinary, just walking with a bunch of flowers. I'm like, okay, thank you. Mama anakuletea a pair of shoes, and you're like, I didn't say, even when you know they financially, maybe as a couple you're not doing very well, and then he surprises you with something, you're like, I didn't even expect a chocolate of all the things, not even a chocolate. Alafu anakuletea.
Wow, guys, are you sending us texts? You know, are you writing right now on Facebook, and are you sharing with your friends? Because today we want to show that marriage is not what you see on, you know, Alejandro and Maria. Marriage is, you know, for especially for the wives, because we are the ones who are a little bit too emotional. We might forget and begin to think that, you know, what I see on telly is what is going to apply in my life. So guys, share the stream with your friends, or either on Facebook or YouTube. Contact us on the lines that are running below your screens. And something you guys have said, what we learn is that marriage is dynamic.
Yes.
It goes up, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're in the middle there, sometimes you're down. But at the end of the day, what matters, I've heard all of you say, is communication. You have to talk over these things and resolve them, so that at the end of the day, whatever he expects, whatever you expect, you come to a compromise, and then you're able to journey together.
Yes.
And regardless, you know, what you guys are saying, regardless of you're expecting your quality time, then it's like, oh, he's here, you know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's a beauty even in all those quarrels, is what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about conflict resolution.
Yeah.
Because sometimes each one of you is up there, and you know who is going to calm down. Have you ever used tears? Have you ever cried, you know, during
Yes.
the Lillian? How is that working for you?
So, I think it's a girl thing. Even in school, if in case you got in a fight with the boy, when you go to the teacher, you just cry. And then the boy is in trouble. So I thought my tears would work the magic. So one time, I can't remember what exactly we disagreed about. We fought. So it was towards almost bed. So when we went to bed, I was there crying. And you know, you are crying loudly so that he can hear and then wake up. And maybe ask you what's wrong. Nothing. So I was crying now. And so when I'm doing like that, I'm tapping him so that he can wake up and ask me, oh, babe, what's wrong? Yeah. He didn't. So I cried, and I finished crying. Then after like 5 minutes, then he asked me, okay, what's wrong? So can we talk about it, you know? So I on that day, I learned these tears sometimes may not help. It doesn't appeal to him. I think for a man, reason appeals to him. Like, what is it about? What are you angry about? Yeah, before you start crying and throwing tantrums, at least that day I learned, he responds to reasoning. Yes.
Not tears, Victoria.
I haven't tried.
You've not tried? All right. Okay. You will give us feedback. Betty, or you are there, you know. Your tears don't come easy.
Oh, in marriage. Those are the spices of marriage. Zenye naeka vitunguu ndo hizo. Yeah, I've ever cried anyway. Actually, sorry to say, I've even said I'm going. And it is almost 10 p.m. I'm in New Nairobi. I don't know Nairobi well. I'm telling her, I'm going to my sister's place. I don't know how am I going even to get to Rongai from Thika Road? I don't know. I'm in Nairobi.
You just know you're going.
And I'm going, and I'm in tears. I'm going.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like, and then I like the way he behaved. He was just there, composed. He has the keys, and he's like, "You can go."
So, at what point did reality hit you in that moment?
It was like the whole night. Actually, I nagged him the whole night.
What made you stay?
He hid the keys. Trust me, I was not even sure whether I wanted to go anyway.
Yeah, you just knew you wanted to say you were.
Oh. Yeah, the whole night I slept on the couch. Early in the morning we woke up, everybody went to work. After work I just went straight home and continued my...
You forgot you had threatened people. So sometimes...
So at that time, that is when he came back home, and then he was like, what was going on yesterday? Can we talk? What was wrong? Is this how we are going to behave the whole?
So you guys, I hope you are still there and you are tuned in. You are enjoying the show. So Betty was telling us, you know, you were angry, all of you went to work, then you came back.
Yeah,
Then
what
happened?
Hakuna mahali unaenda. anakuanga tu kierere. Nataka kwenda, I want to go. Anakwambia enda, you don't want to go. You know you don't want to go. So early in the morning, everybody went to work. In the evening you come, unaibika kidogo. That's very true. Kuna kaibu kidogo. Why did I even behave like that? And then, but then kuna ile ka pride, like I don't have to show him it, na feel vibaya. I thank God for him because he's usually ready to talk. So he's like, are we going to behave like this the rest of our lives? Are we going to behave when things come up like this? You want to go and you're threatening me, you're sleeping on the couch. Are you a baby? Are you even a baby? Like, no, I'm sorry. Growing together is not an easy thing, So I'm sorry, forgive me. I will do it another time. We find a better way. Yeah, we need to find a better way of dealing with things. So
resolving conflict.
Yeah, we solved it. We've never had such a thing thereafter anyway.
Your foolishness ended there.
Yeah, but then that doesn't mean we've never had a conflict thereafter.
So you learned that the best way to solve conflict is, each one of you comes down and then you stop crying. Crying does not solve issues.
And you can't solve an issue when you are crying and he's high and you're high, you're crying. What are you crying? You can't even solve it.
Yeah, that's true.
You
So ladies, if ladies want to cry, they go and cry in the bathroom as they take a shower. Then you come back sober.
Actually, my husband tells me if I want to cry, I can cry. I shouldn't hide my tears. And then we can talk. Like, I shouldn't feel like I don't want to cry with him. So when you say that, it reminded me, there was a time when we were having progressive discussions.
I know that.
And we were not listening. We were talking to respond to each other, not really to actually understand what is he saying or what is she saying. So we had to sit back down and realize, we're not going anywhere. So let's put a comma here first of all and do something else and then come back to this conversation. But let's try and understand what are you actually trying to say and then move on from there. I think that's the first time we ever had a very fruitful discussion and it helped us going forward.
So if you got married, you are there to stay until death do you part. So I think the important thing you guys are saying is that in case there's a conflict, each one of you should calm down and then solve the issue. We are going to go on a short break, but when we come back, we are going to continue on this discussion because I believe it's fruitful. See you shortly.